Hi guys, and welcome back. For today's DIY, I will be showing you guys how to recreate these birch logs that seem to be in style. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off, you will need a pool noodle, and I got this one from Dollar Tree. And I will be using a ruler and cutting it to the size of the ruler, and then just eyeballing it from there and just using the rest of the noodle, and not really picky about the sizes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut them to my liking. And then once that was done, I am going in with some tape, and I am just trying to be messy about it. I don't want it to be neat, for the reason being that I'm trying to make it look like it has some texture to it. And once I am done taping it, the little areas that I didn't really get that well, I'm going in and adding more tape. And I'm also going in and smoothing those areas to get the tape down to stick to the pool noodle. And as you can see here, there is texture and there's bumps, and I'm liking how it's looking. So once that is done and I have finished covering my entire pool noodles, I am going to use some spackle. And this is one technique to do it with the spatula if you don't want to get your hands dirty. And once you start rubbing it on, just rub it on and you will see how heavy-handed you want to keep going, or if you just want to keep it light. It's really up to your preference, but in my case I went in kind of heavy-handed, and I did go with a thick consistency, a thick layer. And I did do it one time. I didn't really have to go back in and do several layers. I did it one time with one coat, and that was enough for me. And another way you can also do it is with your hands, and I prefer using my hands because it just gave me more control of where I wanted it to be placed and how I wanted it to look when it came to the texture. But I just wanted to show you guys that there's two ways to do it. My way was using my hands because it gives me the chance to go into those little crevices and really cover it and coat it well. So once I was finally done with my pool noodles, I did let them dry for 2 days. And once again, I did get ahead of myself, but before you add the spackle, you do want to do the ends of the pool noodle with some cardboard and hot glue it, as you can see here. And once you do that, then just coat the entire pool noodle with the spackle. Saves you more time. But as you can see here, I'm just hot gluing the ends, the cardboard to the ends of the pool noodle, and going back in with my spackle and adding that. And for that, I just let that dry for a day, and that was good enough. And then I proceeded to just paint it. And for the paint tones, I did go in with 3 different colors because I was trying to go for that natural, very authentic look for the logs. So once I start painting the logs, I am starting off with the dark brown one and just blotching that on the areas that I didn't really coat well with my spackle and trying to hide the tape. So I'm just going heavy-handed with the paint and just adding that, distressing it. And then I'm going in with my gray, and I'm just going back and forth, playing around and seeing how I like it. And I am totally satisfied with how these came out looking, and I hope you guys do too. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it or what I could have done different. And don't forget to like this video, guys. Alright, so starting off, you will need a present box from Dollar Tree, and I will simply be removing the tinsel. And don't throw away the tinsel, it can come in handy for another DIY. So I will set that aside. And once I have finally removed the tinsel from the box, I will be removing the little hooks. And I am using this tool, but if you have any scissors on hand, the scissors will do just fine. And I will only be removing the hooks from the outside of the box. The ones that are inside of the box, I will just be leaving those alone because anyways you won't be able to see them. And once I'm done with that, I will just be hot gluing the box together from the top. I am going in with some jute twine from Dollar Tree and some white yarn from Walmart. And I know Dollar Tree does carry white yarn, and majority of the stuff you can find at Dollar Tree, but I know some Dollar Trees usually don't have everything. But anyways guys, I will just be going ahead and going in with the jute twine first and starting from the top portion of the box and then moving on to the bottom of the box. And I will just simply be wrapping it back and forth. And just make sure guys that you start at the bottom, for the reason being that there is no yarn around the box, so it's just easier to go underneath it and loop it, as you will see here in a minute. So once I have finished the top and the bottom, I am going ahead and doing the sides of the box, and I'm just going to wrap that around, and then I'm going in with my white yarn and I'm doing the same thing until I'm satisfied with how it looks. So once I'm done wrapping my present with the yarn, I will just be hot gluing it. And moving on to the ribbon. The ribbon I will be using is from Dollar Tree, and I went with this simple white one. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie that into a knot. And then using that same ribbon, I'm going to use it to make my bow, as you will see here. And this is the easiest way I found to make a bow. So you want to cut it to the length that you desire. And then I will just be crossing it together and getting some yarn and scrunching it from the middle. And then just tying the center of the bow, and that's it. And then for the tails of the bow, I will just be folding the ends together and cutting it into a triangle and just getting my lighter and burning the ends of the bow. And I'm just going to fluff it out and then hot glue it to the present. And once that is done, I am going in with this stem or pick from Hobby Lobby. I know Dollar Tree carries some, but once again, my Dollar Tree didn't have anything. So I will just be hot gluing that to my present, and that is it for this DIY guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it, what I could have done different, what I could have added. So starting off for this DIY, I will be using a pine cone, and tearing it apart, I will just be needing the scales, and you will have to play around with it a little bit to remove the scales. So once you finally pop them off, moving on to the ornament. And for the ornament that I will be using one from Dollar Tree. It's the big giant ones that they carry. And I ended up using 3 pine cones for the giant one. I am simply just going to hot glue them. And for the top part of the ornament, I will be doing like a flower and then just adding from there by starting to overlap them. And you want to do the pointy side down, if in case you don't remove the pointy part of the pine cone. But anyways, like I said, I will just be overlapping these. And once I do start overlapping them, I will just be tucking them in underneath the other ones and just doing that all around. And until you get to the bottom part. As you can see here, I wasn't really that neat about it because anyways you won't be seeing it, and I will be painting it. And since I am going for the theme of a farmhouse or rustic look, I decided to go with white paint, or you can leave them plain and simple. I think they look very pretty like this as well, but I am going in with some white paint and coating them. I did plan to coat them fully covered in white, but as I was painting them, I was liking the more natural look and the brown showing through, so I kept them like this and I just distressed them with the white paint. And once I was satisfied with how they looked, I am going in with some snow and some Mod Podge, and I'm only adding the snow to the top portion of the ornament. By the way, as you can see here, I also did a small one and a medium-sized one. For the 2 smaller ornaments, I only used 1 pine cone, but for the giant one you will be needing 3 depending on the size of the pine cone. But I just love how easy these were, how simple they look, and how this is something that you could see at Kirkland's. High end, very pretty. But other than that guys, I hope you enjoyed this DIY, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below what you think about it. But until then guys,